What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee&Toys here, bringing you a unboxing and review of some figures that some would consider controversial. So, if you're in the mood to talk about controversy, if you're in the mood to talk about G.I. Joe, if you want to have a little bit of a history lesson around Hasbro, Olmec Toys, Black Major, let's talk about it. So yeah, today we're going to talk about figures, G.I. Joe bootleg figures from Black Major. Specifically, we're going to talk about some of the latest of Black Major's offerings around his subset of figures known as the Bronze Bombers. So, before I get too far ahead, get a drink of coffee here. I'm gonna show all four of them just very quickly. This is one of the latest runs of figures from Black Major, and he has dubbed them the Bronze Bombers. So, just real quick, here they are. It's a set of 4 figures, and we're gonna dive into them. We're gonna review each one of them and talk about them and stuff. But there's the short end of it. I just got these in. I do collect. I pick and choose which Black Major figures I want to buy, and I like them. They're fun figures to have. They're obviously G.I. Joe based, but they aren't necessarily just G.I. Joe. Black Major does all sorts of different versions of the characters he likes to do, and that can be superheroes. That can be different takes on Cobra Troopers, but they're all going to be in the standard O-ring form. So let's just kind of talk some history here. Let's talk Black Major first. So Black Major and previously Red Laser Army. Essentially what these are is, as I said, they are bootleg, knockoff, custom, call them what you want. They are G.I. Joe Hasbro-based molds, or based off the G.I. Joe molds, used to create new characters and different characters. Now, this is a hot button topic in the community because some people love these figures and some people hate them. There's really not kind of a middle ground. It's and not often. It's you're either on one side of the fence or on the other. I personally like them because I like O-ring representation. That's why I support Kickstarters that I do, and that's why I collect these. I like O-ring figures, and Black Major makes great figures in my opinion. Now, people can argue that some of the quality of them, some of the figures are not up to par as to what Hasbro did in the 80s, and of course that is a very valid complaint. Black Major is making a very small run of figures compared to what Hasbro ever did. But that being said, this latest offering around these figures is, this particular offering is called Bronze Bombers. And for those of you that don't know, here's the history behind the Bronze Bombers. Bronze Bombers was a figure set that came out in 1997 and was at Toys R Us. It was a Toys R Us exclusive, and it was produced by Olmec Toys. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, it should, especially if you view this channel, especially if you're a Masters of the Universe fan. Olmec Toys was founded, I believe, in 1985 by Elsa Eason, I believe her name is. I hope I'm getting that right. Her son used to play with He-Man. He was sad because he wanted to be a superhero, and He-Man was white. And so she's like, hey, I'm going to invent a character, Sunman, for those that don't know. And Sunman is going to be the equivalent of He-Man. You know, he gets his powers from the sun. African Americans, their skin is naturally darker because they have more melanin, and your melanin makes your skin darker from sunlight. That's kind of the quick thing about where she was coming from. So very cool. So Olmec Toys in 1988 actually started producing their own figures, and they were called the Bronze Bombers. So in 1995, Olmec Toys purchased molds from Hasbro of G.I. Joe vehicle drivers. So in 1997, they produced a 12-pack of figures that were based mostly on G.I. Joe molds. Matter of fact, the bad guys in the set were straight repaints of, they just straight up used the molds and produced the bad guys in this box set as they were when they were G.I. Joes. I don't think there was much difference. I know there was the big one that I only have one bronze bomber myself, and I should have got him out for this video, but we're not really talking about bronze bombers specifically. We're talking about Black Major. But the point was Dark Lawn, Secto Viper, Strato Viper, and I can't think off the top of my head who was the last one in that set. But they're all just, they were just repaints of the figures. And then the heroes of the set, I can't remember whose bodies they used or whatnot. They might have been non-G.I. Joes. I can't remember exactly. But they just created new heads for them. Or maybe they used existing Bronze Bombers heads. But this set came out in 1997. G.I. Joe fans liked it. Olmec Toys collectors liked it. And they were gone. So, fast forward to today. Essentially in the spirit of doing almost the same thing, Black Major released a set of 4 figures in African American skin colors and called them Bronze Bombers, using essentially the same thing. Now, people could get on here and you could argue with me and you could say no, but we're not going to get into that. The point is, same method. Tooling based off Hasbro produced figures. So, I thought it was really cool. I picked up a set. Actually, I picked up 2 sets. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to see what it's all about. I love green shirts, and that's essentially what these will wind up being if I ever want to mix them in with my G.I. Joe collection. But I was like, these are really cool. So there's kind of your overall history. And now, if you've never experienced Black Major figures before, let's dive right into it, and we'll start talking about each of these 4 figures.
Okay, so here we have the Bronze Bomber set from Black Major, and I had to turn my light on today because I'm just not getting enough natural light coming through my window this early in the morning. Yeah, so it was a set of 4 figures. Honestly, I don't remember how much they were. If you are interested in purchasing Black Major figures, he is very active on Instagram. That's pretty much the only place he's active. There are also Facebook groups for Black Major, but Black Major is not on Facebook. If you want to communicate with Black Major, he posts exclusively on Instagram. So, that being said, these should look very familiar to you if you're an O-ring collector. That's because, like I said earlier, these are based off of classic G.I. Joe molds. So generally what Black Major does is he has molds created of various figures from the G.I. Joe line, and he puts together his own versioning of figures. Now, in this case, we have 4 figures. We have, obviously, this is the body style and head sculpt for General Hawk and Short Fuse. Actually, I think this is the, I know it's the Snake Eyes body, but you can see that they all pretty much use the same body, and he just changes the heads out in this particular instance. So we have an African American Duke. Of course, we have, this is Doc's head. And we have Mutt. And so, yeah, generally, Black Major Toys are very good at reusing parts. So he will reuse a mold over and over and over again and does great job, in my opinion, with coming up with ideas while still using the same body. It's amazing how many different ideas and characters and color schemes that Black Major comes up with to make each time he comes out with figures, they seem like brand new figures, even though it might be the exact same mold he's used for the last year. It's amazing. And so with that being said, each figure does come with an exclusive loadout. So we'll just kind of jump into it really quick. And let me turn off my light for a second. I think at this point we're probably pretty good to use what lighting I do have. I just wanted to really get a look at the characters. So this is the loadout that comes with, I'm going to say Mutt because I don't know if he actually has a name in the Bronze Bombers. And this is simply a gas mask. It's a little large, but it does fit over his head very well. He also comes with a machine gun. This is actually the Duke machine gun. and of course a backpack. So each character does also come with a backpack. So that is very cool. I was not expecting that when I got this set. So I'm putting those accessories away, and I'm going to the next figure. This would be what was included with Doc. And, oh, sorry, you hear me dropping them off. So he comes with a standard green shirt Duke helmet, or, you know, short fuse helmet. Does come with the visor that is not attached, but he does come with a clear visor. Again, a backpack. And a different, this one's the rifle with the scope. Don't know the make and model of it, sorry. So that is what comes with Doc. Of course, we move on to Duke, and Duke comes with exactly what you probably think he's going to come with, and that is a backpack. As I drop it, the same Duke machine gun, and binoculars. Finally, we go with the version of Hawk, and he comes with a very cool helmet with a night vision goggle attachment, which is very cool. I'm trying to get that to show up nicely. So that's very cool. And these are all done in a very flat black. Some of these accessories, Black Major actually designs himself, so it's not a straight copy from a figure. I believe I'm not sure if those goggles and the gas mask might be original designs. I'm not sure. He does come with a large sniper rifle. Mine's got a little bit of a bend in the barrel, but it comes with that, and it also comes with the tripod. And then finally, of course, comes with another backpack. So those are the accessories that each figure comes with, and, you know, we'll play around with some, we'll gear some up and see what it's all about. But ultimately, yeah, Black Major figures are a hot button topic in the community, the G.I. Joe collecting community especially. You know, and like I said, I support him because I like what he does. We don't really have an O-ring representation right now of G.I. Joe figures. So it's nice to have a third party that I can actually get O-ring figures from. Now, as far as quality is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and turn the light back on for a minute. Put this up here, because that is a concern a lot of people have about Black Major figures, is the actual quality of the figure. Now this one, just grabbing one, you're seeing him first time as I am, and, you know, he's got some good twists there, you know, and I mean, it's exactly the type of design as 80s figures. There's nothing different. Now, right now, here's an issue. So this joint is stuck. Now, moment of truth. Maybe it's not going to be the moment of truth. Oh, there we go. So now I have a turnable wrist. Of course, the head turns. I mean, this is just a standard G.I. Joe figure. I mean, everything's nice and tight. Sometimes the arms get a little loose. It's not terrible. So let's go ahead and let's do a loadout with this guy real quick. Let's do a loadout with Hawk slash short fuse. So let me see, where was his? I believe this was his bag. So just pouring it out right here off to the side. So of course, let's put the backpack in and let's just see what he's all about. So that's a very snug fit, works out very well. Put the gun in his hand. So gun does not fit in the right hand very well. I mean, if I turn him this way, it's going to fall right out. Let's try the left hand. And again, you know, Now this one's actually pretty, oh, so this one's actually going to snap in very well. So as you can see, it actually fits in this hand very well, if not comically large. But there's that, and then of course we have the helmet with the night vision goggles. And if I put that on his head, it is kind of a little bit large. And if let's slide the goggles down so he can actually look like he's using them. And there you go. So, sometimes that is a complaint about some Black Major figures is, the accessories don't exactly line up and fit in the hands. And I guess my not to be an apologist about it, but, again, this is someone that is designing stuff for a customer base that he knows he has. And, we can forgive stuff like this. I can. I've got plenty of G.I. Joe accessories. I don't need to use necessarily the ones he has. And he is making, again, very small runs of these figures. But so you can see that one geared up. Because I'm curious, let's do the Duke one next, because it's just there. So I'm going to pour out the accessories. I'm going to knock Duke over. So here we have Duke. Same thing, arms move very well on this one. Same thing, this arm is tight. It is, but of course just a little bit of pressure, and now it moves just fine. Elbow bends fine. Knees bend fine. No issues. I actually really like this one. I don't know, it's probably just the silly goof grin, or Duke. The goofy Duke grin is what I'm trying to say. And of course, this plugs right in. Put his binoculars on him. Let's see how that gun fits in that right hand this time, because it didn't fit well on the... So same thing. The right hand is just not going to hold weapons, it looks like. And since they all use the same body, I'm going to guess that the left hand works just fine. And I would be correct. So there you go. You have Duke of the Bronze Bombers, or whatever character you want him to be, right there with his accessories, and very cool. And what the heck, let's do the other two real quick. So we've got, here's Doc. So we're just going to slap the helmet on Doc real quick. Not a big fan of the visors. I imagine it's probably going to fit about as well as... So the helmet's a little loose, which is fine. Again, it is what it is. Backpack. Like I said, I'm not going to put the visor on just because I'm kind of weird to have a visor on a guy with glasses anyway. I mean, I guess he wouldn't matter. I'm more curious about the same... his turn's just fine. Interesting. That hand, I can notice now that it's actually got a wide opening. I bet they're all like that. Yeah, that's not going to sit in there. So, let's go with the left hand, which I bet it's going to fit in just great. Perfect. There's Doc, all geared up, minus his visor. If you want to see the visor, there it is. It's got a little bit of extra flash right here. Flash just means like extra plastic. You can see it right there. So I don't need to worry about that. And finally, we'll do Mutt. Pour out his accessories. Now, he's the one that has, I don't recall again if this gas mask is original or if it was designed by Black Major. So again, his arm's fine. Right arm. So that is a huge mask for this head. I don't know if I can say much about this one. That's a pretty big mask. I mean, I don't recognize it from anybody. Drop me a comment below if you recognize it. But there's the gas mask, the backpack, and finally, I'm just going to go straight for the left hand because I'm sure it's not going to fit in the right. Yep. Little loose in this one. That Duke, the handle on the Duke gun is very thin anyway. Might be thinner than the originals. But there we go. So let's put him there as well. And there we have it. We have the Bronze Bombers. I think these are cool. Like I said, if you're interested in Black Major stuff, he is on Instagram. He's always posting what he's planning on building. He has limited runs of figures that he does, and they're very cool. If you're interested, hit him up on Instagram. Otherwise, hit the like button. Helps this channel out a lot. Make sure you subscribe. We're so close to 500. Like it's going to happen the next day or so. So if you like what you're seeing, you enjoy the content, hit like, hit that bell notification, select all notifications because I put out multiple videos a week. I also do weekend recaps of news, reviews, anything that kind of strikes my mind. Of course, I talk about coffee as well, which I need to take a drink of real quick. And yeah, anything that comes across my mind, let me know in the comments. Do you guys collect Black Major? Have you ever heard of Black Major? What about the history lesson I gave you on Olmec toys? Something you're interested in? I found it very cool. I wanted to share that with you guys. But otherwise, I'm Mark. This is Coffee and Toys, and I will see you later.